I don't mean anything by that. I was Team Chevy growing up. Big Earnhardt fan. Got any NASCAR fans in the room? Couple rednecks, okay. It's going downhill. No, we were Earnhardt fans growing up, right? He died when I was 12. Family wanted to honor him. Didn't really know how. So I ended up with like 8 cousins named Dale. It's kind of weird. Ended up with a cousin named Dale Jr., which was really weird, because his dad's name was Mike. A lot of weird names in my family. I had an uncle named Turtle. Not his real name, just what everybody called him. After the divorce to my Aunt Linda, she left him with everything he owned on his back. A shell of his former self. Used to find him drunk and passed out in the middle of the road. Luckily, everybody knows what to do when you come across a turtle in the middle of the road, right? The right thing is to get out of their cars, they'd help them to the side. My mom sometimes would stop, right? She would actually pick him up. But before he got in the car, she would say, "Your Uncle Turtle's not a drunk. Your Uncle Turtle is a Ninja Turtle." Which made sense when you were a kid, right? Because the entire ride he was begging Mom to stop for pizza. Before we dropped him back off at the sewer. Now, I don't want you to feel bad for Turtle, right? Uncle Turtle taught me a lot. Taught me things like slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes you gotta stick your neck out to get ahead. Never trust a whore named Linda. Remember that, right? Parents caught me with cigarettes when I was 9 years old. They did what parents did back in the day when they caught you with cigarettes, right? Made me smoke the entire pack right in front of them. Never forget my dad standing over me. He's like, "Come on, I thought you were tough. I thought you were cool. I thought you were a smoker." I'm like, "Dad, there's only one problem. I only smoke when I drink." I thought they were hypocrites though, right? Because my mom smoked cigarettes the entire pregnancy when she had me, right? She said, "Big deal, right?" Wasn't a big deal. I was born in 1988. Very usual back then. The unusual part was the birth. So I was born without an umbilical cord. I had a chain wallet instead. My first skin-to-skin contact was with Dad. Because Mom was outside bumming a cigarette. Dad had his shirt off for no reason. Worked out. I don't want you to feel sorry for me either, though. I had a lot of support growing up. I had a lot of support. Parents used to take me as breakfast. Organized for kids whose moms smoked when they were pregnant. Little place called Bob Evans. You know, that old rundown barn off the interstate. You guys have those around here? Yeah. Figured where you guys were from. That one hit good. Alright. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I'm 30 years old. A little bit about me. Thank you. She was giving me a little mini clap. It's okay. But no, got 2 kids. Got 2 really cute kids, right? Makes you feel bad banging their mom. They both have red hair. Not because we're Irish, but because we have really hard water. You guys got hard water up here. You got Well City. This is why you do your research, god damn it. But no, I got 2 kids. It's hard being a parent in 2019, right? It's really hard being a parent in 2019. I grew up in the Goonies generation. You guys remember the Goonies? Yeah. 1985, right? That movie shaped an entire generation. That movie couldn't come out in 2019. Is this room getting pumped with oxygen? You hear that? Threw me off. By the way, welcome to the inside of the Rubik's Cube. Alright, back to the Goonies, right? Goonies, 1985. That movie wouldn't come out in 2019. So it would have ended the minute those kids were in the attic, pulled out their phones, Googled One-Eyed Willie. Entire generation changed, right? Right there. It's hard raising kids in 2019. 19. We have things like maternity photos. Do you guys know what that is? Maternity photos? So you know what maternity photos are? No, it's because you never had to do that shit, right? You had it made. I've done 2 maternity photo shoots. My dad never had to do one, my grandfather never had to do one. Matter of fact, my grandfather owned 2 pictures his entire life. 2 pictures. One was his license. The other was a picture of my grandmother that he carried through the war. Pretty romantic story. He said that that picture single-handedly got my grandfather through the war. Because he used to let the other soldiers borrow it for money. Oh, man. But no, most of my friends, they're not married. Even though I'm 30, I got a lot of friends that aren't married. I'm really the only one that's married with 2 kids. They're always asking what it's like, right? What's it like being married? What's it like having kids? And I like to be brutally honest with them, right? Because I've been married 5 years. I feel like it's enough to know a little, right? I like to be brutally honest. Tell them, just last month, I watched the mother of my 2 children, wife of 5 years, do the most sexual thing I have ever seen her do since I married her, right? Watched her eat a Go-Gurt. Oh yeah. That's a slow burner. Some of you gotta go back to childhood, that's all right. Women usually get that. Guys are a little bit slower to come around. Right? He's explaining it. Ma'am, don't worry, directions are right on it. Slurp till it's flat. That's advice for the women. Advice for the fellows, right? Get them bulk at Costco. Freeze them so you last longer. Make it a 2-way street. When you're at Costco, fellas pick up some Yoplait. Get home when she least expect it. Pull it up, start eating it without a spoon. Like a cat to milk. I can't guarantee the last one though, right? Men are a lot filthier than women. She might just correct you, tell you there's a clean spoon in the drawer. Women are not like men. But no, I tell my friends, don't expect things like doggy style sex when you're married, right? Unless something really good's on TV and you both want to watch. We like to go to bed, leave you on this. We like to tell old stories, right? About who we were before we met. Our stories are a little bit different though, right? My wife's story's not as good as mine. Like I told her about the time I was in college, slept with a lady that had a prosthetic eye. Didn't know, found out halfway through, right? Like shit. She takes it, sets it down on the nightstand. I'm like, why? She whispers in my ear, I want to watch. Like, well, eye contact's big with me. I'd appreciate if you put it back in. I'm going to leave you on this. I'll tell you what my wife told me. This is why you never go first. She told me about the time she was home from school, back in college. Her and her girlfriends were up at the bar singing karaoke. I'm like, what did you sing? She's like, I don't remember. I got so drunk. Apparently I ended up sleeping with some guy named Turtle. You guys were great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he said my name is Shane Dials. I was named after my dad, Shane Dials. That's a lie. He wasn't named Shane Dials. I just want to keep saying my name so you guys remember when you're casting your votes. Yeah, and then to everybody on Facebook, because this is being live streamed right now. So go to my Facebook page, follow that. That'd be cool. It's Shane Dials on Facebook. It's really Shane on Instagram. And we'll get into some jokes. Yeah. Recently, I got into a fight with my wife because we were doing bucket lists. We took turns writing down our bucket lists and reading them out loud. She read hers off first. It was beautiful as everything you could want, and a list from your spouse. It was things like skydive together, travel together. Everything was together. She's really clingy. Yeah, a little much. But it ended really pretty with us like sitting in rocking chairs at a beach house. There you go. Holding hands, right, at a beach house, growing old together, looking out at the ocean. That was how her bucket list ended. And she got really mad at me because mine was just a list of all of her friends. Yeah. I think she was just mad that it was alphabetized. Really. I think that was the big one. And laminated, really? These are jokes, guys. I didn't show the fucking list. I'm not an idiot. Not an idiot. I do love my wife, though. I love her so much that I took her to one of those painting with a twist classes. You guys know what that is? Yeah, a few white women. That makes sense. For those of you who don't know what painting with a twist is, it's a class where like 30 women get together. They all sit in the same exact room and drink wine and paint the same exact picture while listening to Ed Sheeran. They love it. I don't know. But yeah, they fucking love the guy. I don't know. But they love it. I like it. We like it for separate reasons. My wife likes it because it's like a fun night out with the friends. I love it because it's like a kindergarten art class for adults. It's phenomenal. I had to pick my wife and all of her lush friends up, and they came out like a pack of toddlers. Like one girl couldn't like handle her shit. She didn't know how to walk to the car. But I looked back, and another one had a wine stain all over her face. Like she fell asleep on a juice box. It was ridiculous. The ride home, one peed in my backseat. I was like, whose wife is this? Why am I watching Karen right now? Karen, you get home, you tell Jeff you're no longer allowed in the carpool. That's how it works. People laugh and have kids. You pee in your seat, lose your spot. That's how that goes. If you've never seen one of these paintings, it's exactly what it sounds like. Somebody who's never painted a day in their life, got shitty on a box of fronds and decided to make a waterfall, right? She wanted to surprise me when we got home, and she was hiding it behind her back, and she pulled it out, she was wasted, she was like, isn't it cute? I was like, I wouldn't have bought it. Have you seen, I didn't say that. I could see how happy she was. I could see how proud she was. What I really said was like, wow, you did this yourself, that's crazy. That's nuts, you didn't trace? No tracing? All right. We're gonna put this on the fridge. Wall. We're gonna hang this on the wall, put that there. Yeah, then a week went by, right? I was talking to my wife about this. A week went by, I went over to my buddy's house. His girlfriend did this class. She had like 5 of these things hanging up in their living room. So it just looked like the world's shittiest condominium art museum you've ever seen, too. I asked him, I was like, is that a thing where the girls get loaded in paint? He said, yeah, you know, it's Rachel's new thing. I'm really happy. I'm really happy for her. I'm proud. I'm glad that she finally found a hobby. I had to tell her, I was like, hobby? I think she's got a fucking problem at this point. You can't just do what's wrong with it. If that's a hobby, my uncle took 12 steps for his hobby, I'll tell you that right now. She's gonna ruin Thanksgiving. That's how that plays out. But my favorite thing that I realized about it is the name, Painting with a Twist. Because I realized as a comic, I'm a pretty analytical person. And we can break that down, right? Deduce it into 2 parts. The first part, painting, that's pretty straightforward. That's just painting. With a twist, that's just drinking, which is the most amazing logic if you add it to everyday scenarios and activities. For instance, you guys have no idea how good my DUI sounds when I call it driving with a twist. It is, I'm still making that shit into job applications, I made it to Canada. That's not allowed to happen, all right? Yeah, I did, I swear. I had an interview 3 weeks ago, and I crushed the interview, right? The guy pulled me aside, he goes, hey, we loved you, we love your energy and enthusiasm, we want you on the team. We just had a couple questions about your resume. We noticed that at the, I say it like I see it, all right? Don't judge me. You said, we noticed that at the bottom, under felonies and misdemeanors, that you put driving with a twist? Did you mean to put, was that supposed to be under special skills? I was like, yeah, man, I'd say it's a special skill, draw an arrow, buddy, throw that shit up top, right? He said, no, I heard that's like that offensive driving. I said, some people find it pretty offensive, yeah. I think there's a large group of moms pretty against it, you know? And then he said, I heard Vin Diesel did that to practice for those Fast and Furious movies. Do you think you're like Vin Diesel? I had to tell him, I was like, more of a Lindsay Lohan, you know, kind of passing out in McDonald's parking lots. Do I think I'm like Vin Diesel? A little more fat, a lot less fierce. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I'm not a fan of technology. I'm not, which is weird for somebody my age. Like, I have an iPhone. I won't even use half the features on it. The main one I won't use is Siri, mainly because I don't want something that knows my internet search history. To have the ability to talk, right? It's probably not the best move for me. It's not even for what the perverts are laughing at. I don't care if people know what kind of porn I watch. I don't. I just don't want anybody finding out I'm an idiot. Like, the stuff I Google on a daily basis is far more embarrassing than anything that I can look up on porn. Like, the other day I was going through my search history, and I was deleting it. But I was going through it, and I noticed that I Googled the word Pafaro, which is just me trying to spell the word pharaoh, right? No clue or idea why. I'm not 12 years old. I don't have a project due on ancient Egypt. I'm just an idiot, right? The other word I realized I Googled was the word vicuriously. All right, a couple seconds. I think I was typing with a twist on that one. I'll explain that. What's your name, buddy, with the bullshit?
Nick.
Nick? All right, can I call you Steve? Is that cool? All right. What do you do for a living, bud?
I sell pot phones.
Okay, so say I didn't know anything of that. Say I didn't know how to sell a bomb felon. I would ask you, I'd be like, hey man, tell me stories about it, because I want to know. Ever since I was a kid, it's been a lifelong dream of mine. Tell me stories so that I can live vicariously through you. Yeah, I've been saying that shit my whole life. That's the word I'm looking for is vicariously with a V. Some of you have come on, that just means like the last 20 years of my life, I'm going up to people like, hey man, tell me your story. Let me be gay through you, right? Let me be gay through you. I don't know. And then the worst thing about technology is all the names we have for everything. I realized that like the naming scheme's bad. I realized it when I realized the name of like dildo. That just sounds way too harsh for what that object is and does. I think selfie stick sounds perfect. Dude, it sounds like a household item, right? Warm and inviting. All the qualities, yes sir. All the qualities that you want in a dildo, right? Then on the other hand, every time I see a dude with a selfie stick, I'm like, look at this fucking dildo. You know what I mean? Yeah. I guess what I'm getting at is if you're a guy and you own either of those objects, one way or another, it's being used by an asshole. That's what's happening. All right, guys, that's my time. Give it up for everybody seeing Driver. I'm Shane out.
You guys don't want to apologize if I'm kind of stiff up here. I slept weird last night. By that I mean with a guy. Hey Brian, it's Pride. This is a buddy of mine. Thought he was gay for a while. He finally came out of the closet. He said, Seth, I got something I've been waiting a long time to tell you. I gotta let you know I'm gay. And I was super excited for him. And I wanted to say, man, well, it's about fucking time. But I was so excited, it accidentally came out, well, it's about fucking time. So now I'm pregnant. That's how it works. It's Father's Day, you guys. You guys don't know this about me, but I didn't know my biological father all that well. Only saw him a few times growing up. We played this game called hide and seek, or what the authorities later called an Amber Alert. We didn't have too many conversations. I remember I had my very first sex conversation with my dad. I was 6 years old. I wasn't really ready, but he was. And he told me all about sex, and I remember thinking it was all pretty gross. And he told me that some girls, and this is what he said, will even want you to put your wiener in their bottom. And I was like, oh, that's so gross. Like how many people would even want that? And without even blinking, he looked right at me. He was 1 in 5. Like I said, I didn't know the guy that well. I don't know how he had that information. But he was ready with it. A little later on in life, I developed what you might call a drinking problem. I don't want to brag about how many DUIs that I have, but it's 3 more than I have college degrees. And I didn't go to college. The last one, you guys, I really thought I was going to get away with it. I had it all planned out, you know? I was drinking out of the camo cans. I had the headlights off. I don't know how the fuck they're training these cops, but he still pulled me over. He said, Seth, will you step out of the car? I said, sure. I fell right on the ground. And he looked at me and said, oh my God. Seth, if I give you a breathalyzer right now, what do you think you'll blow? And I said, I don't know. 3 or 4 cops to get out of a DUI. And he tricked me because I did 7 of them. Still took me to jail. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to jail. Looks like this guy maybe. They put you in a holding cell when you go to jail. Holding cells, yeah, you know. It's a concrete room with a concrete bench, and they put you in there with other people who are super not happy to be in there. I met this one guy, his name is Kenny M. Oh, Kenny M, my name's Kenny M. Everything he said like 3 or 4 fucking times. It was very apparent that Kenny M was on drugs. He was very wired and very all over the place. I remember he was looking at me, he said, they ain't never gonna catch me, ain't nobody gonna catch me. So, dude, we're in fucking jail. Shit! I got a dog, man. You have a dog? Yeah. I said, oh, cool, man. What kind of dog is it? He said, I don't know. It's addicted to drugs, though. What the fuck? How is it? He said, rough. And when he smiled at his own joke, I saw the most terrible mouth I had ever seen. And I knew right then that the M from Kenny M probably stood for meth. Kenny M, I don't know if you guys know this, you do a lot of meth, some of your teeth will fall out of your head. Kenny M was the kind of guy, like a tooth would fall out, but he wouldn't get mad. Like he'd be like, oh sweet, now I've got more room for meth. Fucking teeth taking up all the good real estate for my meth. So I stayed up with him all night, so that was super great. Next morning, they put you in a thing called processing. You know processing, goddamn right. It's where they find out what kind of criminal you are, and then they decide where they're going to put you in the jail. And I talked to the guy. I was nervous, I hadn't really done this before, and I said, sir, I've heard that in jail, sometimes people are sexually assaulted. Is that true? And he said, well, Seth, I'm sorry, but yeah, that happens sometimes. I said, oh my God, what are the chances of that? And he looked right at me and he goes, 1 in 5. I said, fuck Dad! It's nice catching up. He's got himself a good government job now. But after I got out of jail, after I met Kenny M, you guys, I decided to turn my life around. I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs. I turned it all around. I still do reefer. I don't like to talk about it much. It's not something, I don't have a 420 tattoo or anything like that. I don't like to advertise that I smoke reefer. They say that smoking weed makes you paranoid. And I just want to know, who said that? They also say that weed will make you stupid. And I think that might be true. Because I remember back in high school, I'd take bong rips and blow them into my backpack just to try and get my grades higher. You guys, I don't have a kid. 35, I don't have a kid. I have good aim. So I don't know what the bond is, like, with a child, but I like weed a lot. Like maybe like I might love a kid. Like I like to take it around, play video games together. Go to the movies together. Sometimes I get a bomb, it's like buying them a new toy. Of course, I know the difference between weed and a kid, like I can tell the difference. Like if I had a kid and all my friends were around, I wouldn't be like, hey, you guys want to hit this? Not that high. You guys ever get so high that you forget to get high? Like the other day, I was like, man, I gotta do some shit around the house. I'm gonna smoke some weed, I'm gonna clean my room, and then I'm gonna smoke some more weed, and then I'm gonna go grocery shopping. So I smoked some weed and I cleaned my room. Next thing I know, I'm at the fucking grocery store. I'm like, God damn it. And there's all these little fucking kids around, and I'm just like, I walk up to the parents, I'm like, can I hit that? It's a joke about hitting kids on Father's Day. You guys have been working real hard at, like I said, I've turned my life around. It was mentioned earlier about that PC stuff, we brought that up, and I've been working really hard at that. I work at a brewery, so it's kind of a bubble of that kind of stuff. And like the other day, we were talking about climate change, and my friend said, no, no, excuse me, not anymore. That's too aggressive. It's climate transition, please. Are you fucking kidding me? But it's true, it's everywhere. I went to Meijer's the other day when I wasn't stoned, and I was walking through the pizza aisle, and I saw right on a pizza, it said no trans fats. And I was like, man, I thought pizza was for everybody. You guys, I'm trying to figure out what the difference is between a Siberian orchestra and a trans-Siberian orchestra. I don't know that there's all that much difference, except in the trans-Siberian orchestra, maybe they just don't like the instruments they were given. I didn't want the fucking violin. You guys have been a whole lot of fun. Give it up for Brian Dean and everybody you've heard so far. Thanks again.
It is crazy though, like I travel all over and do this, because being a comedian, like I thought it was gonna be just like Netflix specials and brunch with Kevin Hart, but I'm here with you guys. Instead, I'm just like sitting in my car, eating deli meats, waving at people so they don't think I'm weird. Just like, no, I got a couple hours before the show. Crazy. I love it though, because like, stand-up comedy for me right now, it's pretty much just like free vacations. You know, like I drive to some faraway place, but once I get there, my food and accommodations are taken care of. You know, like the club will give me 1 meal per night, food covered. And Walmart is totally cool with you sleeping in their parking lot. So, accommodations, check. This is showtime. Crazy, man. I ain't tripping though. I always make it work. You know, like I was actually a few months ago. I was going to Iowa. Yeah, they have stuff in Iowa. It surprised me though, because they put me in this fancy hotel. You know, it's crazy. Like I show up and the receptionist is smiling. You don't get that at Red Roof Inn. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not happy to see people. It threw me off, you know, she was in there smiling, she's all, welcome to Doubletree. Would you like a warm cookie? Yeah. As a matter of fact, my buddy's parking the car, you can give me his cookie, I'll give it to him later. I drove alone, but she got me. She was like, the comedy club is paid for your room, you know, everything is covered. But there is a $100 hold on your credit card for incidentals. You know, I'm a well-seasoned road comic, I know how hotels work. Like, all right, whatever. Swipe my card, denied. She was kind of awkward, but like, she was nice, you know, she's like, oh, that's okay. You can give me the card. I'll type in the numbers. Sometimes the machine messes up. It ain't the machine, but I respect your efforts. And in my card, she types it in, declined. You guys understand, I'm too poor to sleep in a free room.